Hi, everyone. This is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and I'm excited tonight to be with you for Thursday Night Live. We are going to be talking about Jupiter in the sign of Aries, and I guarantee you this one is going to be crazy and really going to affect everybody in a little bit different way. So, we're going to talk about that and hopefully get us some deeper insight into all things Jupiter in the sign of Aries. So, as people are jumping on, let me know where you came from. Like, tell me where you found out about my show tonight. I would love to hear from where you're at. Some of you are from Facebook, Instagram, or even YouTube. So let me know where you're coming in at and tell me hello. I love to say hello to you guys. Um, so literally just yesterday on May 11th, Jupiter entered the sign of Aries. And this is going to be doubly one of the oh my gosh, hi Sandra, is going to be one of the biggest important transits of 2022. I know it's huge. And you're not going to, hey, Gigi, you're not going to hear a lot about it, but I know that it's really, really important. And one of the things that's going to be important is because it's going to affect everybody. The further out the planet is to us, the more it's going to kind of, trying to think of the word, kind of like, hey Vic, it's one of those, like, the more it's going to affect globally, like more people all the time. Thank you for letting me know you came in from YouTube. I am so excited. Jupiter in Aries is going to be affecting everybody, and because he's kind of in the middle, he's not too far out there, but he's not too close to us. He's going to be affecting most people everywhere. And Jupiter is all about expansion and growth and new ideas, and kind of like building up from the ground up, that sort of thing. And then Aries has this literally, Aries is action and boldness and kind of like this, take a stand, and kind of really kind of like listen to your gut feelings about things, and kind of like your gut intuitions, or how is this going to make a difference? Bringing things into existence, things that haven't been around before. This is going to be like a great one of like how to make a difference, how to make things happen. And it's one of those really, Aries kind of gets a bad rap, because a lot of times people are like, oh, people that are under the Aries sign are all about like me, me, me. But a lot of times I would say it's really not a selfish me, me, me. It's like, I need to take care of me. And I often tell my clients, like, you have to take care of you, because if you don't, no one else is going to take care of you. You have to take care of yourself. You need to do some self-care. You need to look at things differently, kind of take some time for yourself. And a lot of times, like, take some shifts in energy of like focusing on what's important for me, because if you don't, other people will kind of run you over. But I would say, Jupiter just left Pisces, and that was a great time for kind of like dreaming and getting new visions and kind of like deciding what you may want to do. But Jupiter in Aries is all about take action. And you will see this, a lot of people of kind of just like one of those, like, boom, okay, now we're in motion, here we go. And you're going to see that more and more of so many people of like just being in action, of just being overwhelmed, or kind of like, this is what I feel needs to happen, and it goes into action. And I will tell you that Jupiter will be in the sign of Aries from May to May. So May 2022 until May 2023. So this is a long period of time, and it's going to put people into action, and you're going to see a lot of changes coming up. I would say not only personally in people's lives, you're going to see that in corporations, mid to small. Like I said, he's not too far out there. Jupiter's not that far out there, but he is the one about like, let's get it done now. And then you're also going to see this globally dealing with like how we deal with other countries, how we deal with things that are going wrong or what we think is going right. All of that is going to be coming up in the next year or so. And you're going to have heights of that. You're going to have kind of lows of that, kind of like, well, it's not so different right now. I guarantee you things are shifting and changing. Let's see. We also have, during this time, we also have Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, and Saturn in the sign of Sagittarius, Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. And then, I mean, it's one of those, we have our Neptune in the sign of Pisces, Jupiter in the sign of Aries, and all of these are kind of coming in and they're all setting things into motion. All of these are all about motion or action or putting things into place. We also even have, forgot about this one, Uranus in the sign of Taurus, and this is all about getting into action or looking at what's about to happen and kind of getting ready to jump in. So you're going to see a lot of people really pushing being in action and changing things. Hey, Miss Carmen, how are you doing? This is going to be a great time of kind of where is everything changing at and where is it going to be changing at. And I guarantee you, you are going to kind of be like, oh my gosh, this is so different than it was a year ago. Let's see. Okay. We start out with May 11th, which is just yesterday. We have Jupiter entering the sign of Aries. And then we have on the 29th of May, we have Jupiter conjunct Mars in the sign of Aries. And Jupiter's about expansion and Mars is about action. And they're both in the action energy of Aries. And so this is going to be a day, hey, Miss Tony, where you're going to see a lot of change happen. You're going to see a lot of energy happen. Let's see. Next, on July 29th, we have Jupiter going into retrograde in the sign of Aries. On October 28th, we have Jupiter re-entering the sign of Pisces because he's backed up so much. He's kind of like changed zip code. So he went all the way back into Pisces. November 24th, Jupiter is going to go direct in the sign of Pisces, kind of starting to go forward again. It's still in that old energy of Pisces, though. And then on December 20th, Jupiter is going to enter the sign of Aries. And then again, and then it's going those March 2nd, 2023, Jupiter is conjunct this Venus in the sign of Aries. And this one is going to bring up a lot of love issues with people. This is going to bring up a lot of energy. Venus being the planet of love, being kind of like supported by Jupiter, which is all about expansion in the sign of Aries, which is about action. So you're going to see a lot of people get engaged, get married. Like all of a sudden we just had to get married. We just had to do this. So you're going to see a lot of that kind of that beginning of March next year. On March 12th of next year, we're going to have Jupiter conjunct Chiron in the sign of Aries. And Chiron is an asteroid. I know, and a lot of people are kind of like, I've never heard of this one. Well, Chiron is a little asteroid that just kind of keeps circling around out there, but Chiron is called the wounded healer. And so you're going to see a lot of people wanting to get healed, motions of kind of like people changing. But I would also say that one of the interesting things I've picked up on this is a lot of people are going to be changing how they're healing their bodies. So it's one of those, you may see people go, I've been doing holistic, now I want to do pills, or I've been doing pills or pharmaceutical stuff, and now I'm going to change into more holistic stuff. So you're going to see a lot of changes around that. And I would say majority of them are going from pharmaceuticals into holistic stuff, herbs, remedies, that sort of thing. So that's going to be something really big next year. Next on March 28th, we have Jupiter conjunct Mercury. So Jupiter about expansion, Mercury about communication, and then all in the sign of Aries. So that's going to be like action. So we're going to have a lot of things, people talking about expanding things, a lot of communications about amping things up, making new changes. And it's all about now. We want to make those changes now. We want to really make those changes right now. Next, on April 11th, we have Jupiter conjunct our sun in the sign of Aries. So Jupiter, expansion, sun, ego, and growth, and in the sign of Aries. So that's going to be like this, let's make some changes. Let's do it now. Let's move. This is going to be an amazing energy. Next, on May 16th, we have Jupiter leaving the sign of Aries. And then on May 17th, we have Jupiter entering the sign of Taurus. And so this is going to be a great change for a lot of people, a lot of upgrading over this next year or so. Basically from yesterday until May 17th of next year, there are people that are going to be changing and upgrading. I will tell you that Jupiter in the sign of Aries kind of hits us like a bang. It's going to be like, wow, all of a sudden the guns are going off and we're ready to start the run. We're ready to race, and we're ready to go. After this conjunction, Jupiter kind of gets kind of a little secretive. And this is kind of, there's not really major aspects. Normally there's like 30 or 40 of these, and these are barely 20. Usually there are major aspects constantly, one after another, and this one isn't. And it's kind of, the things are kind of going underground. You're still going to hear things, but it's going to be, you're going to have to really, really listen to some changes. And then all of a sudden, when Jupiter gets out of Aries, then you're going to see all the changes. Like, oh my gosh, here are all the changes. Like all of a sudden, everything has come to light. And you're going to kind of feel that kind of like that high energy next year. It's going to be coming in with, like I said, with this big bang of like, let's make some changes. Let's do some stuff. Let's make some things different. And I will tell you that kind of this energy is kind of like, make changes now, or I'm going to force you to do it. I'm going to force you to make some changes, because we're not going to stay where we've been at. We're not going to stay in this energy any longer. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Chiron is one of the things that a lot of people don't understand. Like I said, he is the wounded healer. So usually this is, during this time frame, are people that are going to be healing others from what they've been through. So if you've been through something that you kind of thought like, oh my gosh, I'll never get over this, or I'll never be able to get through this, that's when that time is going to be hitting us, and kind of like, oh wow, this is going to be so March of next year is going to be that time frame where you're going to be like, all of a sudden, like, I feel like I need to talk about this. I feel like I need to kind of voice this out. And it may not be like on a huge platform. It could be just with a friend. I want to tell you, I went through a divorce too. I want to tell you that I've been through this, or I've lost a child as well. So you're going to hear a lot of people kind of like bringing that healing up for themselves, but also offering that to other people, kind of like, from my wound, you will be healed. So that is going to be a really great kind of amazing energy coming at us. I'm going to pull a couple of cards and get us a little bit deeper insight into all things Jupiter in the sign of Aries. But if you have any questions, let me know. And if not, I'm going to continue on, because I've got some other information, just kind of the basic astrology of May 2022. So I'm going to kind of go over that just a little bit to hopefully get us a little bit deeper insight. So my first one, Jupiter in the sign of Aries, is all about forgiveness. Things that haven't worked in the past, let them go. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, I messed up, or I did something wrong. I literally was telling that to a client an hour or hour and a half ago, of things that you thought were going to defeat you, things that you thought you weren't going to get through, things that you thought like, I'm never getting over this part. You've gotten through. And that's where that forgiveness for yourself is like, I forgive myself for making mistakes, but those mistakes really help me learn. Those mistakes really help me heal things that were going on. Our next one is friendships. This action is going to be bringing in new friendships in different areas. Friends in sources that you're kind of like, I never thought I'd have a friend who was like this, or I never thought I'd know someone like this. And it's going to be bringing some energy that we haven't had in a long time, of kind of being in action with other people, and kind of like-minded people, kind of finding other like-minded people. That's going to be amazing. Soulmate energy, because we have one of these aspects in Venus, that is a great time. If you are in a relationship, you are going to kind of fall back in love with your partner. If you're not in a relationship, that is a great time that you could be finding someone new. New relationships are also coming up in May, because one thing I'm going to give you a little sneak peek is Venus entered the sign of Aries and on May 2nd. And so that's really kind of like the goddess of love entered the sign of action. So you're going to feel a lot of people kind of like talking about love, or where they wouldn't have gone across the room to get your phone number, they will now. So you're going to see a lot of those changes coming in, of like, oh my goodness, this is going to be amazing. Freedom is all about kind of like, this is all of this energy is coming in, and there's going to be a lot of people going, I don't feel free in what I'm doing, so I'm willing to change. I'm willing to make some new changes in what's coming up around me. And I might not have been able to do it before, but now I really, really am. I'm ready to make some changes. answered prayer. This is all about answered prayer, and making prayers come true is something that our divine angels love doing. They love that part of it. But I want to say a lot of times people aren't as clear on their prayers as they could be. I would say that this is really kind of a great one to kind of ask your questions and get those answers. Vic is asking, what life aspects will flourish under Jupiter's movement? Are there any aspects that will be strained? I would say you're going to have kind of some of both of those in this Jupiter in the sign of Aries. But one of the things that I will say is things that haven't been in motion or haven't had action behind them is going to have action. And that's where you're going to have that strain. And I want to say strain, it's kind of like I've been wanting to get away, or I've been wanting to push energy in this area and I haven't. And now I'm going to push energy in that area. So I would say that's kind of what I would say more than anything else. There will be things that have already had action with them. And it's going to be all of a sudden it's going to like fly across the room. Like, oh my gosh, now we're ready to go. And I would say some of that comes in with some small businesses as well. You're going to see a couple of small businesses that you've kind of like never heard about in your area, like, oh my gosh, they're huge in the town next door, and then all of a sudden they're just flourishing. The parts that will be strains are the ones that have not been in action, or they haven't really pushed that area, that energy in that area for a long time. So that's going to be one. Balance. This energy, like I said, if you haven't been in action, now is your time, because you're going to feel the action. You're going to feel that energy kind of pushing at you, wanting you to take some new actions and some new ways of dealing with things. Where before, like I said, with Jupiter in the sign of Pisces was all about go with the flow and you do you kind of thing. That's not going to fly in this one. It's going to be like, you do you, now let's go, zoom kind of thing. You're going to be like, zoom, zoom, zoom. Everybody's going to want to change, and everybody's going to want to make changes. Focus. What you focus on over this next year is going to be pushing you in some amazing ways, some amazing energies to be in action and to be pushing that energy forward. So I would say one of the things that's really important to do this is to make sure that you're in action whenever you're possible. Like sometimes it's nice to take a few moments to look and kind of see what's out there, but be in action. It's going to get you a long way. So let's move on to kind of just the astrology of May. This, like I said, we have on May 2nd, we have Venus entering the sign of Aries, and that is going to be very supportive, very loving. You're going to see a lot of bold moves this month in May of love coming out. A lot of people, like I said, stepping out of their comfort zone and asking for phone numbers or digits or whatever you want to call them, and kind of stepping into that energy of I'm now ready to be in action, of falling in love. We also have on May 10th, we had Mercury go into retrograde. This is our second retrograde of 2022. It is in retrograde in the sign of Gemini, and then it ends up in the earth sign of Taurus. Well, Mercury is in the sign of Gemini. Mercury is all about communication, and Gemini is all about communication. So we are going to have probably some issues or some things come up with communication. And this is going to be more global. Yes, you will feel it on, I've had problems making phone calls and receiving phone calls or getting text messages. So it's going to be on a personal level, but you're going to see this coming in communication. You're going to see new rules, new regulations coming out for the internet, new rules and communications coming out for phones and all that kind of stuff. So kind of all this communication starting to come out even faster. And then on May 15th, well, no, hold on, I'm moving ahead too far. We also have, during this time frame, Mercury is considered the messenger of the gods. And so this is really going to be affecting communication, especially in the signs that it's in Gemini and in Taurus. May 10th and 11th, today, we have Jupiter entering the sign of Aries. Like I said, this is going to stay in this sign. It will dip back in October into the sign of Pisces and then jump back in December back in that area. Let's see. On May 15th, 16th, we have our blood moon in a lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio. This one is going to be pushing a lot of energy, and this is going to be visible in the United States. I know it's kind of more on the East Coast, kind of coming towards Texas, and Texas will get a little bit of it. If you're anywhere west of there, you're probably not going to get a great view of it. You'll have to kind of wait until you see pictures of it. The blood moon literally will have a reddish hue, and they almost always do. But this is going to be representing endings and closures and letting things go and finding that closure that you require for yourself. This is going to be points of your contract that'll be activated during this time frame. Excuse me. Kind of like your contract that you signed before you came to Earth. Like all of those changes are going to be activated this time frame, and pushing a lot of energy. Scorpios are kind of all that attack energy of like, let's go, go, go. And so you're going to feel that a lot during this time frame. This is going to be very transformative, and kind of magnifying where you have been stale in your life. It's going to be pointing those out, and you're going to feel that. Usually an eclipse energy you feel for about 6 months. Usually the strongest time is usually the first 2 to 3 weeks or so. And we just finished having our solar eclipse, our solar eclipse. So this is going to be really kind of pushing more of that energy our direction. And we're going to kind of be ready for some new things, some new transformations in our lives, kind of ready for some new cycles. And you may see a lot of people kind of like ending things. Like I said, you're going to feel this quite a lot. I know this is too much information for you guys. If y'all have any other questions, I will answer them. On May 20th, we have our sun aligns with the Pleiades. This is called I think it's the Seven Dancing Sisters. This is going to be cycles of death and rebirth, kind of that phoenix, kind of like dying and coming back in. This is going to be a strong theme during this time frame. It seems that we are really going to be encouraged by the universe to honor and remember that nothing truly dies. It always like shifts and changes from one state to another. The Pleiades is home to a highly advanced alien race. That's what most people believe. And when the sun aligns with it, with the stars, you're going to, a lot of people are going to be in psychic download mode for quite a while. This is going to be really great during that time frame. You are going to kind of feel healing energy. You're going to feel energy upgrades, and a lot of people will be dreaming or activating. And you're going to notice this in people's clothes around May 20th. You are going to see people be wearing the color purple. Like you're going to see it everywhere. All of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So Carmen is saying the weatherman on channel 11 said the eclipse will be exactly at 11:11. That is going to be even better, Carmen, because it's one of those when it shifts in that time zone, it is going to be amazing and really shifting a lot of energy for us. So thank you for letting me know that. I'm going to be doing a meditation that night at 8 o'clock. We should be finished by 9, but I'm going to be doing a solar eclipse, a lunar eclipse meditation along with a ceremony to kind of amplify that energy. So I'm really excited about that one. I'm really, really excited about that one. Next on May 20th, we're kind of moving into Gemini season, kind of begins for the next 30 days. We kind of our sun moves out of this. Will it be live? I don't know. Victoria, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. I normally, because I normally do my healing drum and it doesn't always come across that way, but I think maybe I'll try that. I'll have to talk to my technicians, but I will let y'all know. If you're following me, if you're on YouTube or Instagram, I will definitely let y'all know if that's going to be something I can do, because I was going to do it outside over the water, which is going to be amazing. I live on a lake. So that's really cool to be able to do a meditation on the lake. If you're able to join us out here in Sugarland, let me know too. I have a lot of my students that are wanting to come and do that, as well as some clients as well. So we're kind of seeing what that's going to look like for us. But I will keep that in mind, Vic. Let's see. Gemini is the sign of communication, and Mercury is its ruling planet. But now we have Gemini going into retrograde. Oh, you're in Louisiana. You're not the only one, Victoria. I have other people in there as well. But what I may try to do is record part of it and then put that out right afterwards. So that may be something that I end up doing, because that will be an amazing energy. But you may actually get a better view than I do, Victoria, if you want to put it that way. Gemini is all about mental chatter. So you're going to kind of feel people talking to themselves, talking out loud to themselves, and then you're kind of like, usually when people are doing that, they're really trying to kind of adjust their energy to what's going on around them. So you're going to feel that energy really, really interesting for quite a while, of people wanting to make changes. And kind of like when people are talking to themselves, it's usually deep down changes. Not that we don't talk to ourselves for other reasons, but usually it's deep down changes and kind of that really amazing energy. Let's see. On May 24th, Mars enters the sign of Aries, and this is its ruling planet. And so we're going to have Jupiter, Venus, and Mars all in the sign of Aries. And like I said, this is going to bring up some waves of energy, a lot of people moving, kind of changing the pace for a lot of people, kind of push, 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 here we go. And this is going to be a really, I almost want to say like fiery, but kind of really igniting a lot of people, kind of like we're ready to go. We're ready to light that up. Feeling motivated to start new things, kind of embracing things that haven't been working, or kind of letting go of things that have been working and move into something a little bit better. Let's see. I think that's it for May. I'm going to pull a couple of cards, but if y'all have another question, I will definitely answer that as well. So next one, retreat. I often take the day after an eclipse off, just because it allows me to kind of relax and take it easy. So if you haven't already done that, that's a great day to not go to work. So just because it can be overwhelming for energy, and it sometimes gives us a great relaxing time to kind of like not push so hard and kind of get into the energy of the meditation. So that can be something very healing for most of us. And like I said, usually a lot during that time frame, I will be doing salt tubs the night after the eclipse, the next night, and kind of clearing that energy as much as I that I can. Allergies are kicking me. Intentions. A great thing to do during this eclipse is to really going to be about setting your intentions. What do you want to bring forward? How do you want to bring forward? And what really caught my eye is Carmen's thing about it's exactly at 11:11. 11:11 is an angel number, and that is really about kind of opening the energy. Kind of think of it as two doorways. The 11 and the 11 are the two doorways of kind of where do we want to go and where do we want to take this energy? What are we opening up to during this time frame? This is going to be really great energy. So I want you to know that this is a great time to kind of really push what you want. What is your agenda? Where do you want to go? So many people ask me, like, what is my life purpose? Your life purpose is what makes you happy. You have to figure out what makes you happy first. Divine guidance. This is really divine guidance. And I have told this to many people over the last couple of weeks, I think even the last month or two. We chose to be here on Earth during all of this time, with our Pluto in return, with all of the energy, all of this Jupiter in Aries energy, all of these things going on. We chose to be here. We chose this time frame to come here. And so a lot of people are like, oh, I'm afraid. You can't be afraid. You chose this. You chose this. There are signs that you're going to be on the right path. There are signs that you are on the way of making this better for you, your planet, and everyone else around you. So make those changes. Keep changing, because a lot of times people are like, oh, no, I can't make any changes. Yes, you can. You can change whatever you choose to change. Body care. This one's really important. Like I said, it is a really important thing to take care of you at this time. You are really, really important. You only get one you, so take care of you. If that's taking time off to go to a doctor's appointment, if it's taking time off to just take a mental health day, whatever it is, make sure that you are taking care of you and you are doing good by you. And even if that's taking an extra nap or taking some time off, this is really, really important for you. If you've been watching the scroll across the screen on Facebook and YouTube, my website, if you go to my website, you can sign up for my newsletter. We are making some big changes in our newsletter for June 2022. We are so excited about so many of these changes, making these changes, and hopefully some really great updates. I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Be ready for Jupiter in the sign of Aries because it's going to be here for quite a while. I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I'll talk to you guys soon.